And the goal of this is to look at inverse functions. Which are from section 2.6 in your textbook. Now, the idea behind inverse functions is we should first recall what a function did. We had a domain, and we had a range. They are just some sets. And the function, if we called it f of x, was a way to map from the domain to the range. It was a guide to get us from one set to the other. The goal of inverse functions is, can we find a function we'll call it g of x, such that g, well, after we run f, g will take us back where we started. In other words, we're looking for a function that will do this. And not only take us back to the domain, but take us back to the value that f started at. In other words, if our function f takes, let's say, f of 2 is equal to 5, maybe we also know that f of 3 is equal to 8, and f of 4 is equal to 7, well, then the function g should be set up this way, where g of 5 is equal to 2. So notice, f took us from 2 to 5, which means g takes us from 5 back to 2. So down here, f took us from 3 to 8. If we put a 3 in for f, we got an 8 out. So g is going to take that 8 and send us back to 3. f of 4 equals 7 means we started at 4 and went to 7, so g will take us from 7 and go back to 4. And in general, f, oops, wrong way, let me try again, g of f of x, remember composition from the previous section, g of f of x equals x. And if that is true, well, and we would also need f of g of x to equal x. If these two are true, then we say f and g are inverses of each other. And we will usually write f of x just like this, but g of x we will instead write f inverse of x. So, for example, let's let f of x equal 7/2 x minus 4, and g of x equal 2x plus 8 all over 7. Are they inverses? Well, in order to test, we have to find f of g of x and g of f of x. So I'll start here with f of g. Remember, f of g, in order to do this, we have to remove the x from f and put the entire function g in its place. So f was 7/2 times something minus 4, and that something, instead of being x, is now all of g. So that's 2x plus 8 over 7. And now our job is to simplify. Well, since it's a single fraction on the inside, single fraction on the outside, these two 7's reduce down to 1. So we have 1/2 times 2x plus 8. Minus 4 is still there. We distribute the 1/2, and we now have 1/2 times 2 is just 1. 1/2 times 8 is 4 minus 4. Well, that's just x, so that's very promising. That's what we want to see if they're going to be inverses. So let's check this one. Well, here we start with g, we remove that x, and we put f in its place. So g was 2 times something plus 8 all over 7. And that something is 7/2 x minus 4. And now we simplify. If I distribute the 2 through, 2 times 7/2 is just plain 7. So I've got 7x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 plus 8 all over 7. Well, negative 8 plus 8 is 0, so this is just 7x over 7, which is just x. Now, since in both cases we got x, we can say they are inverses. Well, that's all very well. But how did I come up with these two functions that were going to be inverses? So let's find inverse functions. We're going to do that by first saying let f of x equal the cube root of 2x minus 7. I want to find f inverse of x and the domain and range of both functions. So let's start by finding f inverse. Well, remember, function notation. F of x is just a really fancy way to say y. So what we really have here is y equals the cube root of 2x minus 7. And I want f inverse to go backwards. We're going to take this as our input and get that as our output. So we really want to solve for x. But that's not something we normally think about. We usually like to solve for y. So the first step we're going to take is to swap x and y. And so we'll rewrite it as x equals the cube root of 2y minus 7. And now we want to solve for y. Well, we'll start by cubing both sides, so I get x cubed is equal to 2y minus 7. I add 7, so we get x cubed plus 7 equals 2y. And we'll divide by 2, so we've got x cubed plus 7 over 2 is equal to y. And now let's look at the domain and range of both functions. And we'll start with the domain of, oops, sorry, I forgot one last step. This is the inverse function, so we should state it explicitly, which means f inverse of x is equal to x cubed plus 7 over 2. Okay, now let's start with the domain of f. Well, what kind of a function is this? You'll recognize from Chapter 2, this is what we call a root function or a radical function. So in order to determine its domain, the first thing I have to look at is the index. That index is 3. That's an odd number. That means the domain will be all real numbers. How about the range? Well, again, the range of a root function, if the domain was all real numbers, was also all real numbers. Now for the domain and range of f inverse. We could look directly at this, but I want to point out something else. Let's go all the way back up to when I first introduced inverse functions. F took us from one set, which we called the domain, to another, which we called the range. And then g, or f inverse, took us back. But notice, g is a function in its own right, and every function starts at its domain and goes to its range. So, according to this picture, the domain of g is the set that was the range of f. And the range of g is the set that was the domain of f. And in general, that's true for every pair of inverse functions. Sorry, I should have said of f. When I want the domain of f inverse, all I have to do is take the range of f and copy it right on down. When I want the range of f inverse, I just have to take the domain of f and copy it on down. And so hopefully this helps out a fair bit with inverse functions. I'm going to leave you with a problem to try. Whoops, sorry. We will let f equal 7x minus 3 over 6. Find f inverse of x and the domain and range of each function. For this discussion that this is attached to, if you want to answer this question as your discussion post, that would be wonderful. If you've got a question of anything else that I wrote in here, please feel free to ask it. Just make sure it is detailed. Tell me about how far through the video it was and what I did, what was confusing. And if you just want to make a comment, something that really helped you, or something that you think might have helped if you had seen it a little more explicitly, please let me know. And let's have a great week.